Hey friends, welcome to Language Arts 1. I am Miss Rowland, and today we're going to talk all about complex sentences. So as a writer, it's absolutely imperative that you understand the different kinds of sentences that you will be using in your writing. So today, let's focus on the complex sentence. We can define the complex sentence as a sentence that has one independent clause, one dependent clause, and they are joined together by what we call subordinating conjunctions. Are you not sure about what those are? Well, hold tight. We'll spend some time discussing that in a moment. But right now, let's talk about the complex sentence and what makes it just that, complex. So if you look at the complex sentence, like I said, it has one independent clause with a dependent clause. Hopefully, ladies and gentlemen, we know what clauses are, but if not, you can define clauses as a group of thoughts, usually including a subject and a verb. However, with dependent clauses, they are reliant on the conjunction and the independent clause in the complex sentence to make it whole. So when you think about complex sentences, I want you to think about it as a mother and a child. The child cannot do anything without their mother. The mother might be able to stand alone by herself, but the child can do absolutely nothing without the mother. Those are your two components of your complex sentence. That dependent clause is nothing without the independent clause that either precedes it or follows it. So let's look at a couple of complex sentences and let's see the different components of it so that you understand a little more about what I'm saying. Our first sentence says, although voting for the next president is important, local elections are just as important as the presidential election. This sentence is very true, and hopefully you are all practicing your voting rights. JK, I know all of you are under 18 and you can't vote, but tell your parents to vote. But looking at the sentence, ladies and gentlemen, you see that it is already highlighted in different colors, which should signal to you that there are different components of this sentence. At the beginning, we have our dependent clause. So this is the child of the sentence. Without the second component, that independent clause that is in black, the sentence cannot stand alone by itself. So you see, it starts with the term although. That is, ladies and gentlemen, what we would call a subordinating conjunction. It lets you know by signaling that there are going to be separating ideas of this sentence, and one of those ideas are independent of the other. So subordinating conjunctions, let's get into that. All these are conjunctions. If you don't know what conjunctions are, you did not watch Conjunction Junction, what's your function? But conjunctions are those words that bring the sentences together to make them nice and whole. So subordinating conjunctions, they separate the ideas in a sentence, especially in those complex sentences where you're getting a lot of ideas being shared. So as a quick review, complex sentences are sentences that have one independent clause, one dependent clause, and they are joined by a subordinating conjunction. Don't try to memorize all the subordinating conjunctions because there's a few too many, but at least try to memorize a few of them so that you know what to use when you're in a crunch in your writing. And keep in mind a couple of things about the complex sentence. A strength, it adds depth to your writing and allows you to introduce multiple ideas in one sentence. A weakness, though, it can easily turn into a run-on sentence if you aren't sure how to format it. So understand the difference between a dependent clause and an independent clause before you go writing complex sentences. And one pro tip, if you're trying to identify if your sentence is complex, look for the dependent clause and look for that subordinating conjunction. Happy writing, folks.